All right. Let's see here. Divine afternoon, everybody. Let me make sure I am unmuted. Oh, yeah, I'm unmuted. Okay, I will not be on camera, but as you can see, I have my slide up. So that you know I am trying out this. I have this new platform called Meeting, and if you'd like to know more about that, let me know, and I can get you some information on that. But it is definitely definitely a good platform, such as like Zoom. So, but anyway, as you can see, this is going to be a Quiet Queens live training. Quiet Queens building calm, consistent authority. And I gotta get over here to the screen. I just want to make sure everything is good to go because I gotta be able to click these slides. But anyway, so like I said, welcome everybody. I want to start by setting the tone for today because this training is not a hype about training. This training is not a hype training. This is not a do more training. This is not about speed. This is about structure. And I've been basically on this whole thing of doing things structurally doing it and getting a very good turnout of how things been going. So like I said, just sit back, take some notes if you want to. And we're going to get into it. So like I said, this training is so everything, let me just say, everything I'm going to share today is designed to basically reduce pressure, is going to remove confusion, and give you something you can repeat without burning out. And if at any point you feel yourself wanting to rush, fix, or prove something, just notice that. You don't need to correct it, just notice it. All right. So because the entire system I'm about to teach works because it slows things down. And when things slow down, clarity shows up. So we're going to jump in here. Like I said, it's Quiet Queens building calm, consistent authority. How to use ChatGPT and Facebook Insights as a structure for stability, not speed. And the ground rule here is no hype, no rushing, no pressure, structure over speed. And like I said, overwhelm is basically not lack of effort. It's a lack of structure, right? Most entrepreneurs are exhausted, not because they aren't working hard, but because they are operating without a system, not operating out of, but operating without a system. So, so what this system is not, it says not posting hacks, is not a viral strategy, it's not a say this script. What this system is a thinking system, a posture system, a repeatable way to build without burnout. So let's start with ChatGPT. So most people are using ChatGPT like a vending machine, right? They open it up and say, write me a post, make this go viral. What should I say today? And then they wonder why their content feels a little scattered. So, as you see in here, you got your input, then you got your machine, you got your expectation, make this go viral. And the reality is generic content comes out, inconsistent voice, and then mental exhaustion. So it says Chat GPT does not create authority; it amplifies it. So here's a quiet rule number one: if you come if you come in scattered, AI gives you scattered options. If you come in grounded, AI gives you leverage. So you got your content writer, your thinking partner. You never ask Chat GPT who you are, you tell it. So basically, when you open up Chat, like I say, you're saying, I mean, you're asking it to. Most people say, write me a post, make this go viral. What should I say today? So, and then like I said, and then you wonder why you get those the content that feels generic, the voice that feels inconsistent, and they feel mentally exhausted. So basically, here's the truth. ChatGTP doesn't create authority. It amplifies whatever you bring into it. So, like I said, if you come in, like saying scattered, it gives you scattered options. And if you come in unclear, it gives you noise. If you come in grounded, it gives you leverage. So, as saying the quiet queens, do not use ChatGPT as a writer. I want to record this. Should hit record. Hold on. Give me just a second, y'all. Let me hit the record. All right. Let me go ahead and start recording that as well. Okay. So think of when we use chat as a thinking partner. So we use chat as a thinking partner. The distinction alone will change everything that you've been doing. And this is important. So you never use Chat GTP. You never ask Chat GTP who you are. You tell it who you are, right? And that leads us into the foundation of everything, which is the master prompt, your business operating system. So I want everyone to listen to hear this clearly, right? So if you don't anchor your identity before using ChatGTP, you will feel confused after using it. So we start with one thing, a master prompt, right? So as you see, like I said, as you're reading on the screen, it says concepts before you ask for content, you must anchor your identity, right? This is a prompt you build once and reuse forever. So the master prompt, you use it for social posts, emails, ad copy. And of course, we have our quiet queen's rule number 2. You tell Chat GTP who you are before asking it to help. Without this, Chat GTP guesses. With this Chat GTP supports it. It's funny, I can't even get this out because normally I'd be saying chat GTP is chat chat. I can't even say it. Chat. I'm saying it wrong, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? Chat GPT, right? All right. So let's get into the master prompt of this, right? So as a master prompt, this is not something you rewrite every day. This is something you build once and reuse forever. So think of it like the operating system of your business. So what I'm going to do is read the structure of a prompt out loud. You don't need to copy this word for word. What matters is the elements. So let me get over here right quick. And so before I get into the reading the prompt, let's talk about how you build it. You build it with clarity, structure, inner generous leading. Um, you want what you refuse. I don't excuse me. I do not use hype, urgency, or manipulation. What you value, stability over speed, the tone you hold, reflective, declarative, and grounded. And that may be different for everybody. So you'll have to, just using pretty much the autonomy of the master prompt, you can just kind of, come into what you have for yourself. So you can say something like, I build my business with clarity, structure, and calm authority. I do not use hype, urgency, pressure, or manipulation. My content is reflective, declarative, and grounded. I speak to people who value stability over speed. I want more content to lower resistance, not create excitement. When I ask for help creating content or images, respond in a way that matches this posture. Okay, not y'all. I can't see if y'all over here commented or not. So let me move this over here because I don't know. I got like three screens going on. And let me see here because I'm going through it and hadn't looked at if anybody even showed up, right? Okay, hopefully you can hear me. Let me go check over here on my phone. I got like three screens going on. All right, come on. I got like three. So it's showing me live, and I can hear myself. Let me go to my group real quick, y'all. Just a little pause here for a second. I'm gonna take my time with it anyway. Oh, you know what? I can't share this out, but I can definitely do this here. That way, y'all can get in there. And I already started recording. So, but anyway, all right. So let me, right, so y'all can see the prompt. All right, so you can copy this script, anchor your identity though, and put in what it is that you want on here. Whenever you create your master prompt, right? Okay, and basically, so this prompt does one thing very well. It tells ChatGTP who you are before asking it to help. So without this, ChatGTP is basically just guessing. And with this, ChatGTP supports. So this is why your content stops feeling random, right? Let's get into the next phase of this right here. So, how quiet queens create content. All right. And yes, because it's quiet queens because we're quiet and we are queens and kings in this space. All right. So now we're going to talk about content. Quiet queens never wake up asking, what should I post today? The question creates anxiety. Instead, we ask four things before opening ChatGTP. The first thing is, so the four questions we ask is, who am I speaking to? The second thing is, what pressure am I removing, or lowering, removing or lowering? Okay, what do I want them to feel after reading? What tone keeps them calm? So, initially, the goal is to eliminate the anxiety of what should I post today by defining the intent first. So, that is content is not creativity, it is clarity. Let me say that again. Content is not creativity, it is clarity. So, a Quiet Queen's content prompt sounds like this: using my master prompt, help me write 3 short Facebook posts for people who are quietly building but tired of urgency. And the outcome normalizes steady progress. The tone is calm and declarative, no calls to action. So, and pretty much here's in as you can see, the style is observation, reflection, declarative statements, and what we avoid is over explaining, convincing, and urgency. And when you notice that, right, you notice that there's no selling, no convincing, or no urgency. This is why the content feels clean. And then this part matters. This part matters. You choose. So authority is not what ChatGPT generates. Authority is what you select, right? And I don't know. The comments are not showing up, so I don't know if anybody's there. If they are, great. If not, great. Either way. Okay, let's go into the next part of this. Let's talk about image prompts and visual posture. Okay, let's get into the images. Images speak before captions. So if your image is loud and your captions is calm, your audience feels friction. So quiet queens don't use images to grab attention. We use images to set the tone. So you think about the visual posture, like I said, well, let's talk about the rule. The images you support the words. The images should, I said images would support, the images should support the words, not compete with them, right? So before prompting an image, we ask, who is this for? What emotional state should this image create? Is this authority, openness, or stability? If you don't know the answer, don't create the image yet. So here's an example. Use my master prompt, create an image prompt for a business casual, which that was back on the previous slide right here. Um, business casual, let me go back to that one. So you want a business casual, a clean environment, no glamour, no nightlife, no exaggerated expression. Okay, this image should support thoughtful content, not distraction from it. All right. So this is how the audience starts reading your words instead of reacting to your picture. So when we look at this, like saying the image prompt strategy is to basically target emotion. Like saying we just went over the authority, openness, stability. Like I said, the keywords is neutral colors, clean environment, authority, quiet authority. Just read the example of the prompt, and the results that you get is the audience starts to read your words instead of reacting to your picture, right? Now let's get into the engagement, Facebook Insights without emotional reaction. Now, this is one of my favorite parts because I mean, I've always have ignored the insights. And one thing, once you learn the insights, and understand the insights and what the insights are for, you'll be able to know exactly who you're talking to. When it comes to your audience, you'll know where your demographics is. You'll know what time what time to post, what's the best time to post. You'll know it's so many insights back there. I basically encourage people to actually tap into the insights, is because especially if you are a builder, if you're building a team, um it works for any niche, right? So now let me prepare you emotionally for what happens next. So when you post this way, right? Because we're talking about how to use ChatGPT, and when you're posting, the front end engagement often drops. So if let me see if I can share my screen real quick on one of these, um, where let's see. I got a lot going on over here. All these screens going. Um, but I'm gonna show you some insights from my page, right? So let me share my screen as well as have that up. Is it this one? Yes, this one right here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. So hopefully you can see that maybe. I don't know. Let me check my phone. It might show, it might not, because I got something showing on there already. It should pop up here in a minute. Hopefully. Okay, I don't think it's allowing me to share my screen, but maybe, hold on. Let me try this over here. Share the other screen. But anyway, I will actually show an example of that later, because it's not going to let me share the screen here where I want to. So, but we'll get into that another time, and I'll show you those insights, because I'm telling you, the insights, they tell you a whole lot, that show you a whole lot on the back end of your content or your post, more than what it shows on the front end. Because, like I said, I have a post where I had like low engagement on the front end, but on the back end, it was like it. Matter of fact, let me see. Like this one right here. Hopefully, it shows the same way that it shows on my phone. Probably not, and it don't. Anyway, so but on my phone, I'm gonna go through it real quick. Okay, so like the very first my pin post, for example, um, no, that's not a good one to use because they took off the numbers. But anyway, I remember somewhat of the numbers. But like, it said that post was getting like 1,639% more views than my other post. And it's steady going up. It will fluctuate, in the back end, so this post, if you look at it, like saying on the front side of that, it don't look like it's doing much or nothing. But on the back end of that, it's like, the views is high, the views is up, the engagement is up. I gained like some followers. And it tells us about, where most of the engagement or the demographics. where all that's coming from, with non-followers or followers, the age, gender, the the countries where it's coming from, the percentage of the percentage. I don't know why this does this at a certain time. Um, so you're gonna get all that information in the back end. Um, and it'll even go into, if you go into your tips, keep learning, see more tips for this post. It'll tell you the time that you should be posting. I mean, all that information is back there. But anyway, let me get back over here. Let me get back on track here. But I would love to, really dive more deep into that at another time. I don't know, somebody was just on here. I'm sorry, y'all, I don't see anyone. It's supposed to show allow the allow engagement, but for whatever reason, it's not it's not showing anything. So I don't know. But if y'all are tuning in, if you can actually, comment. It's no pressure to comment, but I really appreciate engagement. So I know who's out there, who's pretty much know taking note, learning something from this, because I really believe that you'll definitely get value from it. I mean, I have another person actually doing this actual structure, and it's funny because, when you do the structure, it doesn't feel like nothing's happening. It felt like the engagement just went completely away. It feels uncomfortable. It's boring, but if you are building your business and you're looking for particular people to partner with, or to target, then you want to truly build this way. You want to have this structure, and you don't want to do anything to break that structure, right? So, and that's another thing, how you can use chat to actually create this structure for you based on this information that I'm sharing with you right now, right? So like I said, let's get back over here to like I say, preparing you for the emotion, prepare you emotionally for what happens next. So when you post this way, the front end engagement, it often drops. Fewer likes, fewer emojis. And if you take a look at this chart here, right? Um, it's showing you, the vanity matrix likes. Okay, you see how high they are up over here, and then when that the fewer likes, the fewer emojis, you see it starts to drop, and then it's going to go all the way down to where it's lowered. But then when you start seeing the shift, right? When you see the shift and you go into the quiet queens, like I said, quiet queens don't check stats every day. So we don't check stats every day. We review them weekly, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But if you look, because the quality and the readiness of your content is going to start very, very low. I mean, and like I said, this is not for a person who thrives and move on urgency. I mean, because what we're doing here is we want long-term stability. We want to be stabilized in our business and what we're doing. Because if you get people, if you're building your business and people are coming into partnership with you on hype, what happens after that hype, right? What happens after the hype is gone? How you gonna keep that person moving? So this is the quiet why quiet queens don't do that. We do things, quietly. We're not loud about what we do, because we're building for what? Long-term stability. And so you want to have those same individuals that are like-minded like you. Let me see if I can turn this off. I don't Okay, there we go. So you want long-term stability, right? And like saying, if you over here, when we're talking about the reality check, audience shift from entertainment to stability, because you're no longer entertaining anyone. They begin to watch. And I also have another training about that as well. And I believe I did it already. Went over went over some of that when I was actually doing basically, like, I think it was like a check-in. But anyway, um It's like saying, quiet queens don't check stats daily. We review them weekly, and we only look at five things. What five things are we looking at? We're looking at reach. I don't know if my next slide should show that. Um, so we're looking at reach, saves, shares, profile visits, thoughtful DMs, and when you think about that, so when you're looking at like the likes are reach, right? Reach is, are you being seen? The saves is the value, is this valuable enough to keep? And then the shares is this resonant? The profile visits, are they curious? And the thoughtful DMs are they ready? Because at this point, it's people are in your DMs. So the likes, like saying their likes are reaction, saves are recognition, DMs are readiness, right? So if someone messages you saying, I've been watching your posts, that's the system working, right? That is the system actually working. And like saying, likes doesn't equal readiness. Recognition matters more than applause. Keep that as a mental check. Likes do not equal readiness. Recognition matters more than applause. All right. So let's get into the next part of this, how this will feel, right? I want to normalize something. At first, this can feel boring, as I told you earlier. That's because chaos feels exciting, but structure feels calm. So, calm is not a lack of momentum, calm is regulated momentum. So, if your nervous system feels steadier, the system is working, right? So, again, so our daily anchor is I decide first, I ask ChatGPT. Second, I review weekly. Like I said, quiet queens do not check stats daily. We review them weekly. The benefit is that this 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 prospects your nervous system. Okay, I said prospect. This protects your nervous system. I don't know, I got prospects on my mind. This protects your nervous system. It feels steadier. If you feel steadier, the system is working, right? So let's talk about structure builds durability. Durability builds income, and basically we're coming to the end of that. But um, so this basically this is the end. This is the last slide. Structure builds durability. Durability builds income. So calm is regulated momentum. You are training posture, not people. This removes performance, not personality. So structure is what lasts, build quietly. So let's get into some frequently asked questions. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I wonder if I no, if I stop that, it's gonna nah, it still won't let me share my screen. But anyway, um, let me try to get to my Facebook screen here. It's not still not showing me anything, nor over here. See if anybody have anything they like to comment, or if you have any questions, do put it in the comments so we can answer them. But I do have some frequently asked questions that you may ask. Um, and like I said, this is like, for people who, if you don't have a team yet, and you start to get a team, you'll be able to teach this to your team. I don't see anything right there, but anyway, so So let me ask you, let me answer the questions I know are coming. If you thinking about this, what if I don't have a team yet? You are training posture, like I said, and not people. So basically, it's like it starts with you first, right? It starts with you first. And so, what if your engagement drop? We talked about that. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're just simply filtering people out. Another question could be, can I still be myself? Absolutely. What this does, it removes performance. It does this removes performance, not personality. So you're gonna still keep your same personality, when doing this particular structure. Like I said, and one thing that I encourage, like if you start this, and you start to, build this particular structure, anytime that you feel like that you want to do something different, or share something that you feel like that that could be beneficial, or that you feel moved to share, do it in your stories. Do it in your stories, because if you do it on your timeline, it's going to break structure, and what happens is going to confuse your audience. So you don't want to confuse your audience. Um, so another question that may come from this is, how often should I post? Now, when I started, well, no, when I started, like I said, I started posting basically once a day is enough. The only reason I would say not to post anymore and break structure, or if you want to post more, then I would say, whenever you're creating your content, and you're using ChatGPT to do it, um, do it in a way where, you can add something that doesn't break structure. And one thing, as I told you earlier before, don't use call to actions. I mean, when I'm gonna tell you some other things that actually, prevent people from engaging. And though we're in business, I mean, this is the quiet queen way, y'all. Y'all can build how you want to, and but if you want to get people who are going to be stable in the business when they partner with you, then this is what I suggest. I mean, this is not something that you have to do, um, but if you want long term stability, long term, you know, success in this, and like I said, I'm just getting started with it. I mean, and like transparently, I don't have a big team. I don't. But I do have someone that I am teaching this same structure, and they are getting the results. They're seeing, you know, how this is changing and how the audience is responding to them, how they're starting to read the the caption, reading the content, and not just looking at the picture. Um, and like I said, on the back end of that, I wonder if I can close this out. Maybe I can share my screen. But I would really like to show you this. Let me see, everyone. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna try to share my screen one more time and see if I can. I might have to move it over here. Yeah, that. Hold on. It's showing right here. Let's see. We're gonna share it. Let me see if I can switch it over, because I really would like to show y'all this. But it simply just will not. It won't let me be. Okay, hold on. I think it might be coming up. Yep, there we go. All right. So this right here is a post that I did on. I'm gonna give you the information from my actual phone, because for whatever reason the the screen show a little bit different. So like on this particular post right here, I mean, you see I have like 2,118 views. And I actually, this was a post from January the 25th. This is my pinned post. Y'all can go check it out. Y'all see right here. See, I got 33 comments, one share, and that could have been myself. And the time that I posted was like 5:43 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so yeah, this is very slim. I'm not going to have to connect my phone so I can share this, but the insights are definitely a little bit way more. Let me see. Okay, that's giving me all insights. Um, let's see. Let's see. So yeah, I would like to actually see it. Yeah, it's not going to give me what I'm actually looking for. So on another note, I will actually connect my phone to my to my computer, and I will be able to show you those insights from my phone, because like I don't know, it's just for whatever reason it's different from the phone than it is from the computer. But those insights are very, very important if you're looking to target people who you're wanting to partner with. And like I said, it's very important, like I said, to not break that structure, no matter how boring, how much you want to share something else. But and if, like I said, if you're gonna do it, just make sure it's related to what you're doing, and make sure that you are basically posting within those three personas. Which that, like I said, that's on a whole another training, because there's three personas that you want to target. Um, in your, whatever business is it. I mean, this is not for specifically for my business or my niche. Is for any niche. When you're targeting particular people, if you want them for coaching, if you want them for network marketing, for digital marketing, whatever online sales, e-commerce, whatever it is that you're wanting to give access to, because I don't like the word promoting. You're wanting to give access to. So they say, what if I don't know what to say? I mean, if you don't know uh, who you're speaking to and what pressures you're removing, you'll always know. If you know who you're speaking to and what pressures you're removing, you'll always know what to say. So basically, in closing, y'all, I am going to get out of here. I want to leave you with one sentence, and this is the sentence Quiet Queens repeat. I decide first, I ask ChatGPT second, I review weekly. And that is the system. It's not loud, it's not fast, it's not exhausting, it's just structured. So, I want to thank you for being here. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you for watching, and let me know that you're watching on the replay. And if you happen to be live, like I said, I can't see any comments. If there are any, I didn't see anything on my phone. So if there's any comments, y'all can ask your questions in the comments. If there are not ones that I have not answered already, just drop them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer that. So like I said, if this feels quieter than what you're used to, that's how you know it's aligned, because it is supposed to be. Now, like I said, I don't like to come with hype or anything like that. I like to come calm, cool, and collected. So anyway, again, like I said, thank you for being here, and I will talk to you later.